At some point in the last few years, there was this little shift, especially in the queer community, where suddenly you couldn't go 5 minutes on social media without finding somebody calling themselves a puppy girl. A lot of the time, it's just a label attached to a subgroup of kinky people, girls who like to be put in cages or yanked around on a leash. Or, in more safe-for-work circles, cosplayers who want to show off a new weighted tail that they made for their next convention, or furries who have a whole separate persona as a cartoon dog. Then, somewhere in the mix, there are a lot of people who just want somebody to stroke their hair. In the interest of making sure that nobody can ever predict what my next video is going to be about, that last group is the one that I'm going to be focusing on today. These puppy girls are cultivating a fine balance between self-expression and full-blown dissociation, and I think that it's an incredibly interesting conversation. Turns out, there's a lot more to this whole animal person thing than just a simple kink or a fandom. They're called therians, people who've found a distinct sense of identity from adopting certain traits from animals. In the same way that some people whom, like myself, are attracted to both men and women but still find that the label lesbian fits them the best, therians have found that even without a tail or paw pads or a flat nose, ascribing the traits of particular animals to themselves can be a quick and easy shorthand for the personality traits that they want to accentuate, and thusly being referred to as that animal is a surefire way to have those traits reaffirmed. It's no secret that I fall into this category. So, as an example, when my girlfriend calls me a good puppy, she isn't just saying, "Oh, you're cute and small." She's saying that I'm excitable, affectionate, loyal, attention-seeking, curious, and just an overall good companion. It's her saying that she sees me as the type of person to run into a burning building for her. By extension, these same sentiments can be channeled into physical sensations by way of head pats and tummy rubs and the like. Her and I have this little thing where, if we're holding hands, 3 squeezes translates to "I love you." And in the same way, her scratching my head essentially translates to "you're super loyal and attentive." I know that all of this sounds incredibly silly, but subconsciously attaching this extra layer of positive reinforcement to a sensation that already feels super nice, like having your hair played with, is an incredibly interesting and potent way of communicating love. If that's the type of dynamic that you share with somebody. In fact, it can be a little bit addictive. See, while there's a lot of positivity wrapped up in this whole dynamic for me, and a ton of other people like me, there are also some potential pitfalls, aspects of this way of self-identifying that can absolutely get in the way of living a fulfilling life. I'm a lot more afraid of fireworks now than I used to be. However, before we get into the danger of puppy girls and the fall of the West and all of that fun stuff, let's talk about how I transformed into this crude mockery of nature's perfection that you see before you today. A bit over a year ago, my girlfriend moved in with me. On that first night, as she was unpacking her bags and showing me all the mementos that she'd brought with her, she pulled out this little necklace with a puppy tag on it. Her ex had given it to her because Puppy was one of his favorite nicknames for her. I immediately put it on because I thought it was cute, and before I knew it, Puppy had become her nickname for me as well. Some people call their partner princess or baby doll, sweetie. Well, for me it was Puppy, and at the time, that's all that there was to it. Since then, I first developed a taste for tummy rubs. Then I started to prefer my french fries hand-fed. Then I started leaning more on body language and sounds rather than actual language when it came to communicating my physical desires. Whatever, this is all just cute stuff. But at some point along the way, it became easier for me to tune out the conversations of the people around me, and instead pay a disproportionate amount of attention to the squirrels and the chipmunks in the yard. I promise I'm still not joking. I started feeling like actual pride in being able to follow incredibly simple commands. I don't mean that I was being facetiously prideful in order to go along with the bit or make myself look cute. I mean that I started to equate that feeling with me being enough. Like, oh, I put my hand on theirs when they said paw to me. That means I didn't disappoint them, and I'm a worthwhile person. I'm proud of that fact. At the worst of times, this whole mindset has made me a little bit worse at saying no in situations where I wish that I had. I'm just endlessly afraid of disappointing people. The fact that this is all, again, a sense of actual pride and not just myself going along with a bit is concerning. I've done a lot of things that I can be proud of in life. I turned my own imagination, creativity, and motivation into a career that's able to keep myself and the people I care about safe, most of the time at least. I've run this channel for nearly 6 years without ever running out of ideas for longer than a month or two, all while steadily upping my production skills and, in my opinion, my writing skills. Unless, of course, you count a Puppygirl video as running out of ideas. I've gone through an absolutely insane amount of personal growth in that same time. I grow into a better and more mature person with each year. I've held my own in a nearly lifelong battle with chronic anxiety and a near decade-long battle with the absolutely crippling long-term effects of a heat stroke, which, to dumb it down to the scope of this video, really messed me up neurologically. I've survived and thrived in spite of so much, and yet, in a certain type of situation, I take more pride in finding my girlfriend's shoes for her than I do in any of that stuff. So, I pay rent. I have 2 to 3 jobs, depending on how you look at it. I've got to buy groceries and manage finances and keep up with all sorts of other responsibilities. That's nothing special, just about everybody deals with this stuff. But it seems pretty clear to me that all of this puppy business also serves as a vector for dissociation. If I can make myself feel like such a simple creature that being able to shake on command is an accomplishment worthy of pride, then suddenly all the bills and finances and jobs feel like they're a million miles away. Suddenly, I'm too simple of a creature to have anxiety attacks. It's therapeutic at times. Everybody needs a means of escapism, but it's incredibly easy for me to get too comfortable in the dissociation. I get complacent, and my priorities shift from be a good partner, be a good friend, pursue my creative goals, and make money, straight to frolic, make silly noises, and eat food. As I said, this whole thing can make it a little bit difficult to stay motivated. It's just hard to get out of bed when somebody's cuddling you, and that's all there is to it, really. But there are times when I'm just out of it. I've had a horrible day, I've got $5 in the bank and too little gas in my car to go door dashing for more. On days like that, I just curl up next to my girlfriend and she gives me some attention. Each stroke against my hair affirms to me that I'm good enough. It's a type of peace that I don't think I've ever been able to achieve outside of that context. It makes me feel safe. It makes me feel like my problems can be compartmentalized. Put simply, it helps with the anxiety attacks. That, right there, is why I wear this collar on a daily basis. It's just that slight buffer that I need to make it through the toughest of times. It's a mental doghouse that I can retreat to when I feel overwhelmed and need to remember that there will be peace at the end of this day if I can just hold out for a little bit longer. That's what's so fascinating about this whole puppy girl thing to me. That's what made it an interesting enough topic to make this video worthwhile. This particular type of self-expression can paradoxically turn into dissociation incredibly quickly. The two things seem like they would be polar opposites, but in this case, they're completely entangled. I am affectionate, loyal, attention-seeking, curious, and attentive. Those are all positive traits of mine that require zero responsibility on my part. But I'm also independent, ambitious, creative. I'm good at breaking down complicated tasks and admitting when I made a mistake. Those are also positive traits, but maintaining those traits requires a lot of responsibility. And conveniently, all of the positive traits that are accentuated by me barking at people are the ones that I can just sort of passively claim. And all those other traits that elevate me from being a good companion to being a good person also represent the responsibilities that I dissociate from by barking at people. It doesn't feel like it takes any work to be a good puppy, but it takes a lot of work to be a good person, sometimes at least, even if it's work that I'm totally capable of. It's like when I get home from work and take my hat off and put my collar on, I'm saying, alright, I'm done putting effort into my life, time to curl up at the foot of the bed. However, in all 2 or 3 of my jobs, depending on how you look at it, I make my own hours. YouTube, DoorDash, and the third thing, I get to pick when I work and when I don't. And so it sometimes takes a lot of determination and focus to stop myself from being a puppy when I need to be a human. It just makes it hard to get shit done when I get too comfortable. And in a few cases, being a good puppy has gotten in the way of being a good person. This has to do with the whole wanting to please people making it difficult for me to say no thing that I mentioned earlier. There was an instance where I didn't say no, when I really should have. And while I've spent a lot of time thinking about that mistake since then, there was this one pivotal moment that turned out to be completely definitive in both my moral recovery from that mistake and my character development as a puppy girl. My girlfriend was sitting alone with me, talking about everything that had happened, and she said the sentence that I'd been wanting her to say for so long. I know you're puppy-brained, but you still know right from wrong. Like I said, I'd been waiting to hear her say that ever since the moment that I first made that mistake and failed to say no. It made me feel a lot better, like she kind of understood how I wound up in that position, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized the irony in the whole thing. My girlfriend was the one who got me wrapped up in the puppy girl thing. She's the one whose head pats made me realize that this whole thing was something that my psyche could benefit from. But by saying, I know you're puppy-brained, but you still know right from wrong, she was calling me out. I'd leaned way too hard into my dissociation, and I made myself too easy to manipulate. I made myself too capable of saying, it's not my fault, that's just how the animal kingdom is. Sure, I'm generalizing. It's not like I didn't realize that I made that mistake or didn't think it was my fault. It's not even like I didn't own up to the mistakes. But what the puppy-brained side of me did do was make it easy for me to stagnate. It made it easy for me to feel like I didn't need to develop my character anymore, when that's never been the case for anybody. Personal growth is what makes our sentience a superpower, and my theory and bullshit was getting in the way of my personal growth for a while. When she said, I know you're puppy-brained, but you still know right from wrong, that was her challenging me to be better, to not let myself stagnate, to not allow myself to get lost in my dissociations. She wanted me to remember that while she'll always be there to stroke my hair and say that she's proud of me, ultimately it's on me to make sure that I continue in my personal growth. Nowadays, I feel like I've almost completely rid myself of all of that hesitance in personal growth. I feel like for all my flaws and all the things that I need to work on, I've gotten to the point where I'm able to be a responsible, penitent human when I need to be, and a carefree puppy when I'm able to. I'll never be able to say I'm done growing as a person, but now I'm at least able to progress again. My development is resumed. It's something that takes constant effort because the mental doghouse is an extremely comfortable place, but so long as I can maintain that effort and keep myself in check, I'll only ever be in that mental doghouse when I don't have anywhere else that I need to be. So, to my girlfriend, and to anyone else who might be watching this, I'd just like to say two things. Firstly, and secondly, and more importantly, thank you for giving me the opportunity to grow and to be a better person. I promise that I won't waste it. I'm gonna make you all proud. Can't f***ing believe I just made that video. Oh, Jesus. Okay, guys. Here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna put the treat. The treat's going inside of the harness. Right here, Cash. Right here. There you go, boy. Okay. Good boy. Nope, baby. He got the rest of it. I don't even know how, he just dug it out of my purse. This does not help the point I was trying to make in the video one bit, Cash. You're ruining the thematic purpose of this outro by misbehaving. Come on, baby. You got your thing on this, a good boy. Okay. Here we go. Now you can go for a walk. So I wasn't joking at all about ending this video with a barking tutorial. While I understand that this video is more of a cautionary tale about my puppy girl experience, I feel like the only thing in the video that really needs any further elaboration is how the hell I bark like that, because that's just such a showstopper every time I bring it out. For proof that it's not dubbed, let me just... It's that simple. Every time I see a trans puppy girl, or any puppy girl, and I ask them to speak for me, they hit me with some weak shit like, ruff, ruff, and it's shitty, it sucks, and they're bad. So what you can do actually instead to get a realistic bark like I have, you know how when you're speaking, you're exhaling air, obviously, but you can also make your voice sound really weird by inhaling air and talking like this. Kind of hurts if you're not used to it, but you do get used to it. Essentially what you want to do is just yell while doing that inward breathing as opposed to outward. So, would be in and then out. And transferring that to a yell is, it's that easy. Okay, I'm going to go read the names of the patrons. I'm at the tail end of like a 4-hour-long DoorDash shift, immediately preceded by like 3 hours of editing, and I still have like another 3 hours of editing to do, and I have to be up in like 5 hours. Okay, I'm gonna quit stalling and go do the patron read. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a weird one. Definitely nervous to upload it, but we'll see how it does. We'll see if people find truth in it, or if all they find is honesty on my part. Have a good night. Before I close out today's weird-ass video, I would just like to verbally thank the patrons for giving me the opportunity to make weird videos like this, especially the patrons who are donating more than $10 monthly, such as Alex, Allison Dot, Almost Dead Again, Arda Aurelia, Asiobatoon, Atheat, Ave Lunum, Babylon Broken, Bo Ya, Bree, Bjorb, Cami Burger, Charlotte, Cinema Critic, Darius Fazier, David Brule, David Kaiser, Delaney, Demise, DJ Jax, Earl Grey, Edelsis, M. Coy, Erica, Eva Knight, Femboy Fishing, Gab, George Rosenbaum, Guybrush, Gwen T, Haunted Mystic, Isha, Joannis, Jamie Braun, Kay, Lake, Laura M, Lily Leones, Lynn Payne, Maddie Doman, Masana, Metamaniac, Mia Maple, Miss Lavender, Mr. Cococo, Neurofilter, Nicole, Nomad Delilah Jester, One-Eyed Wiley, Orange Remake, Panda, Thea, Pumpkin, Poof Donut, Rio, Sean Hamilton, Shay Theus, Spooky Ina, Stephanie Starfire, Summer Celine Garnet Midnight, Sylvian Pasco, The Coom Slayer, The Narcissist Cookbook, The Biggest of Men, Vega Nelson, Voice Mute, Big Time Jim, Good for One Fair, CeeLo, and Violet Sexy. I'm sorry, I just really do not feel like appearing on camera for this patron read. I was wrong. I did not go and immediately do this right after the park tutorial. I slept, and now I'm tired and gross looking. So I hope you enjoyed walking my dog. Have a good day, everybody. Thanks for watching this really weird video.